Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear Homesteading the Desert. It is the last day of August, the 31st, but the first day of the Labor Day weekend. I haven't seen many people rolling into the desert to do their camping and dirt biking, so looks like I might have a nice quiet work weekend. It's Labor Day, so I'm going to labor. Look at my tub. It's in place. And I got my green board around the back sides of it because I wanted to make sure I had the walls protected down below there, and I can get the insulation tucked in on the outer wall. The inside wall doesn't need it. Now, my drain, see the foam down there? I foamed it all in. There is no critter access from under the cabin up under my tub. So that's a sealed unit. And all of my drain lines are all glued joints. There's no screw together joints like you see on a lot of the bathtubs you see in your houses and stuff, where you can unscrew it and get to the trap and all that. Everything here, because I don't plan on going down there and working on that plumbing for the rest of my life. And the way I look at it is, it's all glued together. It's a solid unit. If I have to run a pressure flush down it, I can take the overflow cover off right there. I can stick an expander ball down there with the garden hose, turn it on under pressure, and blow that line out if I have to. I doubt if I will, because I use 2-inch drains on everything. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't have 1.5 inch. I wanted 2-inch to make sure I didn't have to worry about blocking drains and stuff. And I'll probably end up putting another piece of metal across right there so that I can put either a grab bar or a soap dish or something like that on the side there and have something strong for it to fasten to. All right, I turned my plumbing pipe here because I have to move my sink over to this point, and my electrical box there will be for the GFI outlet that goes there. This one will become just a J box in the wall, so that's going to be discontinued, and that's already GFI protected by the circuit in the kitchen, because the only thing that's on that circuit is my toaster. So I'm using it for the bathroom too, because the toaster only runs once in the morning. The bathroom needs it. I don't use electric razors or hair dryers or anything like that. Hair dryers in the desert. I've got a big one. It blows all day long and it never uses electricity. All right, here's the light switch box for coming into the bathroom. And I didn't fasten the tops of these yet because I got to plumb them up and set it, make sure they're 25.5 across, so I can later on put a hollow core door in there. All right, you see my vent line, and I got my clean out installed, and my vent line runs all the way up and will penetrate through the roof, and it should be just about almost 2 feet above the roof when it's when the roof is sealed in. All right, I got my box here ready to go for my electrical, but I've got to build the air conditioning box. I did go into town today. I picked up materials, and just going to Home Depot alone, round trip, if I didn't stop anywhere and I just drove it, that's already a 45-minute drive, round trip. So I stopped at the supermarket and I picked up some things I needed for my Labor Day barbecue out here. And by the time I got back here, after leaving at 9:30 in the morning, I got back here, it was almost 2 in the afternoon. So from 2 in the afternoon until just about 45 minutes ago, before I fed the chickens, I did all of this work here. I got all of this framing up, and I got the tub installed, got the plumbing in, got my vent lines in, I got all my extra nailer studs in place. I got all the electrical boxes that I could hook up in place. This box here is going to be for the ceiling fan that's going to be right above my bed. So it's just for those days where you don't really need an air conditioner, but you just want to move the air around. So I've been busy out here doing my thing. A couple of things that I forgot to mention, and for those of you who are building, I planned and engineered this whole thing myself. And the design is actually upstairs in the noggin. I don't have any of this on paper. I didn't sketch any of this out. Just from my experience over the years, I know measurements and the way things go. But for those of you that are going to be attempting some of this by yourself, here are some of the specifics. From stud to stud for a bathtub, you need 61 inches. Okay, that's 60 inches for the tub and a ½ inch on each side for drywall. So 61 inches stud to stud, not drywall to drywall, stud to stud. When you put your drywall in, that closes that up. All right, the closet ring for the toilet. From the wall, from a finished drywall, this point right here where the bolt will come out and the bolt comes up here, that holds the toilet down. From the center of the bolt to the wall has to be 12 inches. I like making it 12.5 because sometimes you get those toilets that have a heavy cover on it and you go to put it on and it drags against the wall. I want that little extra room. So I do mine for the rough framing, I do it 13 inches. When I add my drywall on there, that'll take a ½ inch. So it'll be 12.5 inches that I'll have from the bolts to the wall. That gives me that extra ½ inch behind the toilet tank. That doesn't hurt anything. It's just the way I like to do it. Specifications say the bolt's 12 inches from finished wall. I go 12.5. All right. You always have to put a nail or stud in your corners here because when the drywall comes up that's up against this wall, comes up here, you have to have something to nail or screw your drywall for this wall onto. Same thing there. I had to put those extra studs behind there because when I put my drywall across, it's going to need something to fasten in the corner with. I usually like to, when I have it set up like this, I usually like to put this drywall on first because I've only got a narrow stud to fasten to. And then with the corner piece there extra, I've got plenty of room so I don't have to jam my screws and tear the drywall, things like that. All right. And another thing, green board is used around wet location. Actually, it should go all the way up on here because I am going to have a shower on here, but I don't really need that. I just need it down low because those are your leak points if you're going to have a leak. The waterproofing that I'm going to have on here is a plastic sheet that's going on this wall, and it seals it and it goes right down over on the inside of the lip of the tub, so that seals any water from being able to go down behind the tub and wet the floor up. This beam here, I put that in because I'm going to hang my sink on the wall and I needed something sturdy to hang it on. I've still got to punch my hot and cold water through, but I didn't do them yet because I wasn't sure exactly where my sink was going to be. Now I know, so now I'm going to put my cold water right there on that side of the trap and my hot water on that side of the trap. So I would have, before I would have put them over here and then they would be outside of my realm. There'll also be a little box built around those pipes so that they won't be seen. But I can take a couple of screws off and get to the pipe if I had to. That's not glued yet, that's just sitting in place. All right. Again, three-way switch is going to be there. And in this box over here for the hallway, and then the inside switch on here. This is a double switch box. The inside switch would be for the bedroom here, for the ceiling fan and the light in the ceiling fan. The light in the hallway here, all my lighting, except for the ceiling fans, all my lighting is 12 volt DC. I use all LED bulbs in 12 volt DC. I can turn on every light in this place after dark with no wind blowing on the turbine and only drop 1/10 of a volt for the whole cabin as it is. So it uses hardly no energy whatsoever. I sometimes leave the porch light on all night long, forget about it. It doesn't even put a dent in my electricity. So all my lighting, the light in the ceiling here in the hallway will be 12 volt. The light on the wall there above the sink will be 12 volt. And the light in the bedroom will be on the light on the ceiling fan. That'll have an LED bulb in it too, but it'll be 120 volts because the electricity is already there to run the fan. All right, I got my measurements. I looked at the door I want to get. It's going to cost me about 250 bucks for the door. But I did get my rough opening size for it, so I know exactly where to put my studs. So tomorrow I'll be doing that. I'll have this this door frame closed in, and then I'll have my trusses built tomorrow. I'm going to get all of those into place, and I'll be ready to start closing this thing in. I may just throw a couple of sheets of the outer wall on just to anchor these walls so they don't want to move or sway, so I could take my braces off, and then I can get up on the roof and I can roof this thing. So if I do get a surprise rain through here, everything here is protected. It's under a roof, and I could throw some tarps against the walls if I had to, if it was a sheeting rain. But out here, it's usually just a quick downpour and it's over with. All right, this weird looking stud here is the one that goes there. I was going to put it in, but I have to move that shed before I can get that in, because I can't get to where I've got to screw it in there with the shed in the way. So that can wait. It's not a big thing. That wall is kind of like blocked anyway right now because of the laundry shed that's in place. So I could take care of that later. All right, that's all there is to it, people. That's going to be the close for today, and I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up, like my videos down below. That's the little thumbs up down there, all the way down at the bottom. Click it. Also, leave a comment, ask questions, anything you want. Please do that. It gives me credit on every one. And I only think I have either 3 or 4 more subscribers to go before I make 1,000. Who's going to be number 1,000? We'll see. G-Bear signing off.